Hello, everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Ethel Odin. I want to talk to you today about the gift of marriage. God given me some word today to bring because many people may not know what the meaning of marriage is, so He gave me to write it down. So that's what I want to talk about today, and also I want to talk about my marriage. I had mentioned it last video, how I got married, which was 6 months after my husband and myself had met each other. And I want to talk about that, how God have blessed our marriage. But before I do that, I want to, as I said, bring to you a word today that was given to me. What marriage is. The gift of marriage. God gave Eve to Adam to become as one and to reproduce in the earth. In a marriage, we are to become one and helpers one to another. A marriage is built on trust and love. The gift of marriage is when we grow in trusting one another. A marriage is growing together in peace by having understanding from one another. We are to grow in strength, courage, and to be protectors of each other. Marriage is a gift. When you grow in confidence one to another. Marriage is to be in agreement because your life becomes more easier between the two of you. We are to grow in patience for each other. The gift of marriage is when one fall, the other spouse hold the other up in their distress of life. When one become ill, the other spouse, or to nurture so they may recover. God gave marriage to fulfill each other with joy and happiness. When we may cry in times of sorrow, we become strong together and we overcome day by day our troubles. We are to become more united as one. Marriage is not 50-50. It's a commitment to each other to do what is required in a marriage, to be in it for the rest of your life. Marriage is a gift when you can grow old together and have a full bloom life, and we can say God have been good to us. No matter what we have faced, we become more responsible, making right decisions. The gift of marriage was given to us from the beginning of time to live a productive life. We are God's producers to be the gift He have given us one to another. Excuse me. I want to say that I had to learn what marriage is through my own experiences. How I said that my husband and myself, when we got married, we didn't have a lot of experiencing about each other. We didn't go through things and any type of hardships because, as I said, we didn't know each other but just a short time. And so when we did get married, we learned things about each other. We had to grow. And that's what marriage is all about. You have to grow because no marriage is perfect. And even though God can bring two people together, it doesn't mean that you will not have problems in that marriage. You will face many difficult things, and you have to learn how to overcome them. Now, my husband and I, we didn't have a courtship, dating. But there are some people that they do have a long dating process that they go through, and sometimes the person that you may be with, you may not know them as they portray to be, because sometimes relationships portray to be something that they're not when you're not married to that person. And sometimes it's because you want someone so badly, you put on a great impression about yourself, and you may have dated some time to get to know that person that is not the person that you thought you knew when you got married. And when you do get married, you have a great disappointment in what you thought you was getting. And that's why sometimes the disappointments can be so devastating within that person when they thought they have gotten the person that they desired to have. And it become a great disappointment. And sometimes the marriage, it goes into that area where that person have not come into that decision whether they want to go on with that person. And sometimes marriages fail in many reasons why they do fall. But that was not the case with me and my husband. So we was not disappointed because we did not, as I said, had learned about each other. And I want to talk about a few things here, the reason why our marriage have lasted for 37 years. When my husband and myself got married, I was at the age of 35, going on 36 years old. I was trying to, I didn't know how to cook very well, but I could because it was just me and my son. And I wasn't one that wanted to cook a lot. I did things from the box, instant meals. However, that's how I would do my meals. And when I got married, it was a totally different thing that my husband had told me. He said that I like everything from scratch. He wanted me to cook my meals from scratch. And so that was something that I had to learn. I knew that would be something that would please him. Now, he's not a big man. He's a tall man. He's 6'1". And he's all these years, he still, his weight have not gotten large. And I thank God for that, because I never liked a big man. But even if he had gotten big, I would still be grateful because he is a good man. And so I had prayed and asked God, Lord, to teach me how to fix the meals that he want to eat. And when I prayed, and I just believed that I could do it, I did wanted to please my husband in that way. And so that's what I did. And it got better and better and better. And today, now, many people who eat my food, they just love my meals. Some people always still ask me about cooking them certain meals. Well, I still cook certain meals, but not as much as I used to. So that was one of the things I had to learn in the beginning of our marriage. And that was one of the growing process that I had to step into to please my husband. We also learn each other likes and dislikes. And when you learn, as I said, it wasn't disappointment because we did not have a long dating that we had gone through, and so we had to learn each other. We had to learn each other ways. And that's what we did. It wasn't something that as I said, was disappointed, because when you know that you have to do certain things and trust in God for the person whom you have married, you have to do what you have to do. And that is the part of growing together. And what I didn't know at that time about the gift of marriage, because when two people marry, you are a gift to each other. Not to be as a curse or treated each other in the wrong way, but you are to give to each other of yourself to bring more togetherness and oneness between the two of you. And I had to learn that at a young age. Now, I'm not going to say it was easy, because it wasn't. And when you really want a marriage to work, you have to put work into a marriage. And it doesn't happen overnight or maybe a short time. You have to work in a marriage, make it become what you know it can become. So we had to grow in understanding. And there is no, I want to say, as 50-50 marriage. You have to give and take in a marriage. Some is going to have to deny, or each one have to deny themselves more than the other. And when you learn to understand one another, likes and dislikes, then you're beginning to grow, because you are beginning to understand that person. And you also, when you start beginning to understand your spouse, you begin to have more patience with your spouse, because you begin to know more about him, what is required of you in your marriage. And you begin to grow more in that area. And you begin to start having more peace in your marriage. So marriage is what you have to do, is to grow if you want your marriage to remain. Patience brought forth the love in our marriage, that we begin to understand each other. Not only that we grew to love each other more, it was the trust that also developed when we start having patience. Then it grew more to love, and then it grew more to trust in each other. And those are a bond that you grow into. And you have to deny yourself, and you have to learn to humble yourself. to each other. So those are the things that we learn, as I said, since we had got into our marriage after 6 months when we had met. And definitely you have to have God. He has to be in your marriage. He's the one that will show you what is needed and help you and keep you and strengthen you, to help you to overcome whatever you may be facing. And love and trust is the main thing that will keep you together. But definitely you must have understanding. That is very important. When you don't have understanding between each other, that's what causes this discord between each other. And you want to live in peace. So that's what we have come to in our marriage. We have come to a place in our lives to have peace since we have endured many things. And we didn't give up on our marriage. And I want to bring that to you today, that all things is possible with God. When you truly give it to Him and trust in Him that He will make it all right for you, that your marriage can be beautiful. You can have a loving, happy life together. You don't have to go the way that causes your marriage to not remain. You can just trust God that He will work it out for you. And you pray. That's what we did. I prayed a lot. And see, my husband is a man that he's not a big talker. You know, he have a few words. But what he does, he would buy me cards. He expressed himself to me through cards to tell me how he feels about me. The words that he may not be able to express from his lips, he expressed them to me through cards. Beautiful words that I know that by him not showing it through his mouth, he showed it in action. He is a very good man. He has been there for me, and I have been there for him. And I thank God for him. And I want to bring that to you today because I had said that I wanted to tell you why our marriage had lasted so long for 37 years with a short time that we had known each other from the beginning. And to let you know that all things is possible. Regardless. Now, I don't say that anyone else should do that to marry, that short of a time. But it worked for us. Why? Because it was the work we put into our marriage. When two people desire each other, and you will do what you have to do. And so that's what we did. And I want to thank God that we did that. Not saying that we did not have sometimes disagreements. Yes, we did. But we learned how to be able to put those things behind us. To let go of all of these things. That we don't have to stay upset with each other. It doesn't do any good. We want to have peace and happiness. Because that's what marriage is. It is togetherness. It is to bring joy and loving and kindness and sharing to each other. And God, He ordained that when He gave Eve to Adam. It was because He wanted unity. And that's what it is in a marriage, to be unity. And I want to say that to you today. I hope what I'm saying to you that someone can understand what I'm talking about and let God be able to also to bless your marriage, to give your marriage another chance if there is anything in your marriage that you may decide that you no longer want to continue on. I pray that what's something I may have said that can give you a chance, an opportunity to see a little different what the gift of marriage is. That it is sharing, it is giving yourself to each other to make each other become better. And that's what happened in our marriage. We gave ourselves within our hearts to understand, to know what is good for each other. And when you do that, you will see the change. You will see a different person become more and more beautiful within. And that's what God desires for us to become, to be as one. So I wanted to share that with you today. And I want to thank God for you. I thank God that you will be able to see what marriage is really about. And so I wanted to leave these words with you today. And if you like what I say, will you give me a thumbs up? And also subscribe to my channel. And I thank God for you. I just hope that you also will have a very good weekend, that it will be wonderful. And until I see you again, may God bless you and may God keep you, and goodbye.